I have to say, this debate was a surprise. Now, I was not expecting Trump to do good, of course, but oh my god, did he shit the bed the other night. Kamala was a very pleasant surprise, too. I've criticized her in the past for not having much of a commanding presence, and always having this awkward aura around her, but credit where credit is due, she brought her A game that night. First, I want to talk about the part where they discussed the issue of abortion, because this is easily one of the points in the debate where Trump floundered the most, and Kamala performed the best. Trump just tiptoed around the question he was asked if he would veto a national abortion ban, because he has no answer. Abortion is easily Trump's and the GOP's biggest weakness this election cycle, because most of the country is pissed off that Roe v. Wade was overturned. Most people do not like the idea of the government stepping in and dictating what one can and can't do with a fetus that is developing in their own body. But you want to know who is down with that? The evangelical Christians, aka one of the most loyal bases towards Trump. Just like a week or two ago, Trump actually criticized Florida's ban on abortions conducted after 6 weeks and said 6 weeks is too short. And do you want to know what happened after that? The evangelical base freaked the fuck out. They said Trump is for baby murder. Some even said they weren't going to vote for him now, because how dare he have one extremely rare moment of clarity and not before a horrifically draconian law that restricts on bodily autonomy. So after that backlash, he immediately walks back his previous statement and says, oh, 6 weeks is perfectly fine. It's totally fair to ban abortion after that period. So now he's stun-locked on this issue. He knows if he says he'll veto a national abortion ban, he'll piss off many of his most loyal supporters. But on the other hand, if he says, yes, I would sign a national abortion ban into law, that would be political suicide. He may as well say right then and there, that's it, my candidacy is a wrap, go vote for Kamala. And it was so funny when the moderators called him out and said, but your VP, J.D. Vance, said you would veto a national abortion ban, so why are you being so evasive with this question? And Trump's response was, well, me and him haven't discussed this issue together, so what he says doesn't necessarily reflect what I believe. You mean to tell me and the rest of the country that you and your VP pick haven't discussed one of the most consequential issues of this election cycle less than 2 months out from the election? What else does that scream besides incompetence anyway? Easily Kamala's best moment in this debate, at least in my opinion, was when she was clobbering Trump over how harmful the overturning of Roe v. Wade was. She brought up examples that reflect the horror stories we've been hearing these past 2 years. Women being forced to carry pregnancies that pose a risk to their life to term, or like 10-year-old girls being forced to carry incest and rape babies to term. This has been the reality of overturning Roe v. Wade, and Trump's only response was resorting back to his same tired talking point about how supposedly the entire country wanted abortion to be purely a states' rights issue. And not to mention, he also brought up his brazen lie again about how supposedly states were performing abortions at the 9-month mark, or even post-birth abortions, whatever the fuck that means. Once that fetus is out of the womb, it is not a fetus anymore. It is a full-fledged human that does not need to rely on another human's body for survival anymore. Therefore, post-birth abortion, quote-unquote, wouldn't be abortion anymore at that point. It would be clear-cut murder, and most people realize that, and that is why such a practice has never been legal ever in any state in this country. And the moderators actually called him out on that and fact-checked him and said no such practice is legal in any state, which, oh my god, so fucking refreshing after that CNN debate where Trump was just spewing lie after lie completely unchecked. And speaking of lies, Trump brought up that stupid hoax of Haitian immigrants supposedly kidnapping people's pets and eating them, which of course is absolutely fucking false. It's just more racist fear-mongering, and I think it originated from some asshat on Twitter. And the moderators also corrected him on that. They said they spoke to the city manager in Springfield, which is where this story is supposedly taking place, and they confirmed that no such fucking thing was happening in this city. And Trump was like, oh, of course they'd say that, but I saw on TV people were saying, oh, my dogs were stolen, my cats were stolen and eaten by immigrants. Yeah, you heard it on TV. Let me guess, Fox News, Newsmax, what the fuck is the other one, OAN or whatever it's called? Very reputable sources. And I have to ask, is this really the man half of this country wants back in office? Someone who will hear such an obvious bullshit, ridiculous story, take it at face value, and then happily regurgitate it on a national platform as if it is fact. I know, Trump being a liar is definitely nothing new at this point, but who the fuck, outside of the most deranged Trump supporters, actually believes this bullshit? And that's exactly who Trump was placating to in this debate, his most deranged, brain-poisoned supporters. It's like what Kyle Kulinski said in one of his debate recap videos. The populist rhetoric that Trump loved using back in the 2016 campaign, that he of course didn't believe a fucking word of, by the way, is completely gone at this point, and it has been gone ever since he won the presidency back in 2016. He knew how to placate better to the average American back then. He knew what they wanted to hear, and so he said what they wanted to hear. And ever since his victory 8 years ago, he surrounded himself with nobody but sycophants who massage his ego and believe shit like immigrants are eating your cats and dogs, and repeat this shit to him. And he happily regurgitates this shit because the people telling me this love me and tell me exactly what I want to hear, so they must be telling the truth, right? And speaking of not placating to the average American, do you really think anyone outside of your cult wants to hear your incessant whining about losing the 2020 election, because he was still talking about this shit the other night during the debate? Your temper tantrum has gone on for 4 years at this point without any sign of stopping. Many Republicans who ran 2 years ago for midterms were 2020 election deniers, and you want to know what happened to most of them? They fucking lost their elections. The public has more than spoken their piece at this point. They are tired of you whining about losing this election, because most of the people in this country live in reality and know that you lost that election fair and square. And also, thanks for making Kamala look way cooler than she really is. She's a Marxist. She wants universal health care. Yeah, I wish. Or after Kamala flopped with her answer regarding Israel by both siding the issue and saying, well, what's happening in Gaza is terrible, but we will continue to support Israel's right to defend itself. And then after that answer, Trump somehow managed to flop even harder by saying if you vote in Kamala, Israel won't exist anymore in 2 years, which, don't threaten me with a good time, Trump. And lastly, way to gift Kamala's campaign an opportunity to hammer in just how incompetent and stupid you are when you said that you have concepts of a plan in regards to your healthcare plan. You pretty much admitted that you don't think through policy you plan to enact in your potential second term, yet this is the guy that half of the country is going to fucking vote for in November. Look, of course, I'm no fanboy of Kamala, but come the fuck on. The winner of that debate the other night is clear, and it is clear who would be at least a little more competent in the front seat. And what the fuck happened to all that debate prep he was supposedly getting from Tulsi Gabbard, because he did not come prepared at all. Not only Trump himself should feel embarrassed over his performance in this debate, but anyone who prepped him for this debate should also feel really fucking embarrassed, and if this was a fair world, they would resign from politics ASAP. But I love it. I am absolutely loving every second of this, because watching this clown flounder is satisfying to no end. I can't imagine anyone who wasn't already a Trump loyalist having a good takeaway from Trump's performance during this debate. And here's the real last thing I'll bring up, the kill shot after the debate, the Taylor Swift endorsement. I don't really care for the concept of celebrity endorsements. I think the fact that we put so much stock into them is a testament to how celebrity obsessed this culture is. But her ending her endorsement of Kamala with childless cat lady, which is what she is essentially the spokeswoman of. Ooh. How's that J.D. Vance pick going, Trump? I'm sure you're so happy that you decided to let Elon Musk and your idiot sons go into your ear and convince you to pick this fucking idiot. Because what has he been for you besides a PR nightmare? For once, I'm actually looking forward to a VP debate, the one between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. That should be fun. October can't come soon enough. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.